Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to swing by and chat about GameStop here with me. This morning, I was a little tired. I don't know how we got that video even out, but getting online, updating everybody as to my current thoughts on a day-to-day basis is my commitment for now until the next 10 years, apparently. So some big news today. What's that, a big green bar? Why is it blue? It's blueberry. Settle down. Maybe a plum, if you will. But a nice, big volumetric bar, which is awesome. And that is off of the news of Ryan buying some more shares. Wasn't that yesterday? Didn't that just happen? Deja vu, because it happened again. The same amount, 500,000 shares, basically the same price, a little bit higher than yesterday's batch, but that's fine. Yeah, so this is as good as it gets as far as I'm concerned. Doubling down, showing you his commitment, showing me his commitment, and other institutional investors, and maybe the short side of the trade, right? Your boy's not going anywhere. He's dug in, and if there was ever a time to get out of the way of the train, it's got to be getting pretty close, right? So that was cool. Now, where else did we leave off? So we're managing our positions, right? And I'm saying this morning that we're gonna take a look at them in the last video, right? Because I didn't quite have an idea of where I wanted them to be at. I didn't know what they would open at as a price, right? But the other day we did hold them because we felt that this was inorganic, right? And then we immediately reclaimed. I really liked that. At which point, we got Ryan buying that first batch of shares. That's great. Then we are taking a look at those today, trying to maybe manage them because we are at our take profit level from when we got them, right? That's definitely, getting in this area that we were at today. They are green, which is nice. We'll touch on those in a moment. But we pulled the reverse Uno, right? This morning I was like, well, maybe we should be scaling out because we're probably hitting those take profit levels. This is our most likely zone. If we get back there, great. But if, things do work out in our favor, best case, right? Then we still have some room to the upside potentially. And so we bought more shares. Well, not shares, but more calls. So TikTok, we have only 9 days or something in the month. It's a 31 month, so 10 days. But Burry says post in January. Typically a man of his word, so chilling. And 10 days is not a lot. A couple of those days will be weekend days as well, non-trading days. So I think it's time to start really building that last level of exposure. Now, we are in on this early on the reversal, right? Playing it based on the technicals. But, we were like, oh, OPEX hasn't passed, and there was no corporate catalyst really at all. OPEX is gone. We've got our corporate catalyst, and the reversal is still holding in a bullish manner, which is awesome. So we're in the Discord this morning. If you're not in the Discord, hello, good game in Google. Hello, good game. And, Linktree as well. I make YouTube videos. I don't know if you know that. Playing Magic the Gathering full-time. Join the community Discord. Boom. And then once you're in there, GameStonk, right? And then where are we today? Oh, yesterday someone was trying to talk about AMC. That's okay. We'll convert them. I've had loved ones buy AMC, and it's like you try to convince them, and they're like, I'm not listening to you. And it's like, okay. So where did we leave off? I kind of want to go through this and catch everybody up. Yesterday we had the share buy-in, right, which was awesome. Institutional filings coming out in a few weeks, but I think maybe we're going to have to wait a little bit on that. We want to be increasing our percentage of ownership by 1.2%, right? Because that's what Ryan did. You move, I move, right? We kind of want to follow suit and do what our dad does, right? So buying some more shares, buying some more exposure if you can. And you're going to have to do that again tomorrow, apparently. So, people are talking about maybe taking advantage of the short-term price increase based off of that insider buy-in news, right? But I say, hey, wait a minute, because they're talking about selling short calls. But maybe let's wait until we get that Burry post, right? I'd wait for the Burry post for this tactic. If you're going to be going short and selling anything here, there's such little time between now and the end of January that I don't think we should sell the news here, obviously, and just wait a little bit if that's your strategy, right? Cool. And then we're looking at some technical analysis this morning. We want to see this 4-hour downtrend break up, which we have happened this afternoon, which is pretty cool. And then, do we get a YouTube video today? Absolutely, every day. This was at 6:39. I already had this filmed and out for you guys. I was up at like 5:30 filming content. Then I've got a song to share for everybody, The False Economy, which was pretty cool if you're in the Discord. And then updating our positions, right? This is kind of what we were looking at this morning, which were green again on everything, looking really nice if you wanted to take some profits, right? But should we buy more Burry exposure? Question mark. I kind of want to. And then this is the best part of my day. 1 month trend has switched from bearish. If you've been on the channel, I've been showing you this day after day after day, saying we need to have the trend change from bearish to bullish. We've got our 1 month, and our 6 month is now sitting at neutral. We're no longer in that downwards trend. We're consolidating. Relative strength is still low, and we have not had a volumetric event in some time. So our daily average volume is decreasing, and that's really good. So on that note, we just crossed over our 50-day moving average, which is awesome. And we were looking the other day at the CCI. We went through that, right? And we've now crossed through that 0 point, which we were rejecting, and I was kind of nervous that we might get a rejection like we did here, right? And then trending to new lows. But like this is as confirmation as it gets, fantastic. So this next little area we want to be really careful with, and that could be the Burry news, right? That could be our little spiky area. So if you were looking to try to maybe swing trade, depending on what the news is, of course, and the time to implementation, because it could be very bullish very quickly. Nobody knows, right? But charting it out, it looks like it could be a good area to maybe be cautious, maybe start selling some calls, and we're gonna have to take a look at that when we get there. For now, we're still very much long on everything. So here's our Burry exposure. We want to be buying at the money 21s and selling out of the money 25s, right? It's classic stuff. And this way we get a little bit of a discount. Buying support, selling resistance is just the name of the game. 58 days till expiry here. Everything looks pretty decent here. The 1 month trend on the S&P 500 was bearish this morning when we looked at this. We're going to take a look at that. I had a call today do like over 10,000% on the S&P 500. We'll talk about it to wrap up today's video. What a crazy day. www.insidertrading/market manipulation. But we take advantage of the volatility when we can, right? And I think that could bode well for GameStop in the coming days. So this is our addition, right? And then we'll see it here. It's a good way to track it for you without exposing you to my actual broker, which I don't intend on doing. But boom, there it is. And it's at break even. It was a little bit green earlier. Coming down, that's fine. And these positions will get closed out. Let's talk about that on the breakdown of this, right? And a confirmed breakdown, a real breakdown, right? Or when Burry comes out with his post and it's a kind of sell the news event, right? The next day, everybody's gonna be super hyped, they're gonna be buying. You want to be selling your longs that we got ahead of time for this when it happens, just like we do on earnings, right? So, this looks really good if you wanted to maybe even start to potentially scale out some profits tomorrow morning, because we took this position on today's low. It's not taking into account, obviously, the after-hour move here, which has been substantial. So all positions should be, bright green. And if we get to this best case, right, and then I think this has moved down as well, right, because this is the one-day 200. And we've rejected it last time really aggressively, twice. So let's move this down, updating that a little bit for ourselves. Maybe even move it down just a bit more. That's where I'd like to aim, right? For the runners. I don't know if we'd. I think we could maybe just ignore this gap from now and call that filled. But invalidating this bearish fair value gap is a big deal, right? Because there's going to be a lot of shorts who were originally targeting that, and they, maybe they did well and took some profits. Who knows? But if they didn't, they're underwater, and they're there because technically speaking, that's how you would act. So they probably scaled out, and it is what it is. But the price being above this bearish fair value gap is bullish, right? That's very nice. We also have, like I said, that 4-hour downtrend breakout. Fantastic. Let's aim for the 200 on the 1 day, and then maybe we break it, right? Maybe it rejects once, tests trend, and then breaks it the second time. Of course, we'll stay vigilant. We're going to keep up on it day to day. Let's take a look at the kitty indicators quickly. Well, before we get there, so this is the 1 day coming up off that long-term sell side liquidity. We're now into that earlier one that kind of broke down and invalidated, but it's still relevant. It's still relevant, right? The 4-hour is looking fantastic, right? We have that 4-hour downtrend breakout that we're talking about. We also have a reversal signal here, right? That's really good on the 4-hour. That's a big deal. And then we were rejecting our key level breakout, but now we've just broke through. So this is a 4-hour EMA reversal / entry model. Big deal. EMA, the 21 exponential crossing over top the 50 exponential. That's the teal blue or the light blue over top of the dark blue, right? And then we're pairing that with the price, the current price, with a key level breakout. And that's, in this case, the 200. We could potentially aim for a bearish order block if we can find one, or look at this gap. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. This looks nice too, right? Where it's kind of the same thing, but playing out slower, and it's a little choppy. And then obviously the 15-minute is going to be looking pretty decent as well. But that 4-hour setting is a big deal. The 1 day is still kind of bearish, right? But if we could get our EMAs to cross, that would be a big deal in the 1 day, because we've not had that happen since the last time we broke through the 200, right? And that was the last time we've actually been bullish on GameStop post bonds. It's been a long time, and it was after those EMAs reversed on the 1 day, right? We have our EMA reversal, key level breakout here, which kind of happened before, but we got a nice run from that. That went from 24 all the way up to 28, and if you go on the 4-hour, I bet it was higher than 28. No, that was after the bonds. Yeah, I mean, 28, whatever. Fine. GameStop sometimes trades pre and post market, as you see here, and you don't get that on the 1 day chart. You have to use the 4-hour chart to see that. So this is awesome. We're at 22.35. Let's see if we can try to get up to that 23.20 mark. All on that tomorrow. But let's take a look at kitty charts as well, because I noticed this is looking pretty bullish too. The RSI getting up there, right? So the RSI maxes out at 100. It's a 100 or 0 to 100 scale, but the CCI actually goes from 0 outwards, and you can get readings higher than 100. So we're going to maybe switch over to that to be more precise as the days roll on here. And the PMO, we're getting additional divergence, which is awesome. Let's just hope it holds. The market today was crazy bullish. They came out and said there's, a deal with NATO for Greenland, and that the tariffs are rolling back, and the market just went absolutely crazy. Like, check this out. Look at this. Absolutely insane when that announcement was made. So from 680 all the way up to 688. And now this, I know you're not super into this, you guys, but this is what we're doing in the Discord for everybody. These calls, and I played these pretty badly, but from $5 all the way up to $505. Woo! That's 11,320% from the bottom. Just on this move. Just on these couple of bars. Woo! Insane movement on the market based off of that news. GameStop's actually going nicely. Maybe we're going to get that tonight. Maybe right here. Oh, wait. Might have to jump on a live stream. But, you know, I still did really well on these. You know, I'm buying them for 13 cents or $13. And then I was selling them for like 35, right? That's over 100%. You know, look at me. I'm doing it. And then this happened, you know. So having some fun here with some SPY contracts during this period of volatility. And that's not something that I'm always doing, right? If SPY trades sideways, you know, you just get wrecked. But during periods of instability or volatility, I like to have a little fun, right? And we did this yesterday too, with great success, having some fun with the group here and doing the technical analysis as well, right? This is today's pattern before it broke down aggressively. The exact same as yesterday's, right? This was from yesterday. So that's pretty cool. You know, it's not every day that you see a contract do, you know, 11,000% from the bottom. From our specific ads, you know, 4,300%, which is still pretty impressive, right? Yeah, so if you ever have any questions about GameStop, I'm in the Discord full time, like every single day, every waking moment, and I will continue to be so for, I guess, the next 10 years, right? So buckle up. We're going to have some fun. Hello Good Linktree is how you find it in Google. This should pop up for you. And drop in, say hello, introduce yourself. And yeah, tomorrow should be pretty spicy. Look at this go, 2280. That IV is going to be sky high. You know, if you didn't get in, that's because you weren't in the Discord, right? We gave everybody plenty of time. This was this morning that we loaded these up, 11:17 a.m. You would have had 3 hours before market close here to get in on that. And, you know, I apologize that I can't be getting this out in real time and then you watching it in real time. But if you're in the Discord, I can, like, you'll see it. You'll get a notification. And it's a lot quicker than, because it takes time to film the video, and then I've got to edit it and render it and then upload it and then get a thumbnail for it and like the description and the title and the tags. It's a whole thing, and it has to process. YouTube has to process all that, and sometimes it takes hours, right? So if you ever want to be in the Discord, it's free, right? We're not charging anyone for anything. And yeah, so thank you all so much. Have a fantastic day. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on these recap videos as well. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.